Go back to studio and launch live. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, y'all. That's the name of the show today is Watch the Weather. As I was just saying that I looked on the rooftop, turned the air on, and went to the rooftop, and the doggone air conditioner was blown away. So where are we getting all these microbursts from? I mean, the air conditioner weighs a good, I don't know, 40 pounds, and it's attached to several wires and lines. It's about 5 lines. Let me see. Yeah, about 4 lines, and it was actually blown off its pad. So somebody explained to me what happened, and it had to happen like today or yesterday. Could have been the way this weather's going. I mean, think about it. Late at night, what do we have? Heaters coming on, the thermostat's kicking in. Why is the thermostat kicking in the when is summer? How many more days before summer? Somebody tell me. Because it literally seems like we got summer in the daytime some days, and then we got winter at night. Because it literally gets cold enough for your thermostats to come on. And then we have rainstorms, and then we got windstorms, then we got smoke coming from Canada, then we got dust storms. What is going on with the weather? That's why I said, watch the weather, y'all. What is going on? What do you know, Walter, that I don't know?
Antarctica, they said there's a lot of ice is coming back.
Antarctica?
Yes.
Is that the problem? We're gonna put it on
Storms.
Antarctica.
I mean, our temperature, anybody could mess with the temperature.
What do you mean? It's not like a thermostat. You can't change God like a thermostat.
The
Hmm?
rain, yes, you can.
Well, in some aspect, yeah. You could put enough ions in the atmosphere to create a what do you call it? To make it rain, but you can't control that all over the world.
Fires, you could control the fires.
Yeah, fires add to the smoke. The smoke adds to the clouding of
Mm.
the atmosphere. Clouding of the atmosphere creates sun blockage. Sun blockage creates other things. Yeah, to an extent, but you gotta have a lot of smoke, I think. You really have to have quite a bit of smoke to do that.
Yeah, we're at the new age that we could control the weather.
Yeah, but again, I mean, we
There's nothing you can do with Mother Nature. She has a mind of her own.
yeah,
And that
I think you're right.
global warming is messing everything
I
up.
think you're absolutely right about that point because if we can control it, we wouldn't have droughts in certain places. We wouldn't have people starving from starvation because they can't grow food. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, if it was that easy, like turning on a thermostat switch on and off, that would be that would be
But
amazing.
everything is planned out.
It's playing what?
It's planned out.
What do you mean by planned out?
I mean, you could grow food not even by dirt. You could use it with water.
Yeah, you could do what they call hydroponics. Yeah, you're right.
Or they're planting, I think was what country they're planting a lot of trees now and sand in the Middle East.
Trees in the sand. I don't know about that one.
Yes.
I'm just going to be real with you. I have no idea about trees in the sand.
No. So there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, but Man can't make everything. Man has tried.
Technology.
What's that?
Technology.
Yeah, but where does technology come from?
From man.
Yeah, and that's what I just said. Man can't make everything.
Uh-huh.
He may try, he may think he can, but he can't make everything.
Uh,
And I could tell you two things right now he can't do. He can't create longevity of life to the point where it's continuous. He might be able to give you medicines and cures to get you going again, but as far
yeah.
as you know, a continual lifespan, no. That and they really can't control the weather like that. I mean, there's certain things that can be done, but they can't really control the weather. If they could, why don't they control all these tornadoes that's popping up? Like I said, they had to. Did you notice anything, Ella? Like a big wind or anything recently? If not just today or um,
No, I
Yeah,
didn't see a windstorm. I didn't see nothing like that. Just rain.
yeah,
a couple of
we
days ago it was windy.
maybe it happened then. I just didn't notice it because I wasn't here. But
Like a
the whole air conditioner was blown off its pad, and that
yeah, like a week ago it was windy, very windy.
hmm. No, I was on the roof a week ago, so it didn't happen then.
Uh,
I'm just trying to figure out where are these microbursts just popping up all the time. Remember about what 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Ella, during the election season, they blew the tree down on the block,
huh.
and the block south of us, and the block over east of us, south of us. There were trees
Yeah,
everywhere.
that was a mini tornado.
Yeah, and the air conditioner was blown off its pad again. So I'm
No.
like, what the heck is going on? We got to nail this thing to the ground or something?
And then they had solar bursts, solar flares from the sun.
Yeah. Well, they call them solar. Yeah, they call them solar flares. Solar
Yeah.
flares. But that throws off your electronics. It ain't got nothing to do with the weather. Not that from my understanding,
Maybe.
think so. Maybe, as you say.
Yeah, because you could just move one degree either way, the Earth, and you get a big storm.
Right.
Only takes one degree.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
You know.
You probably could. The atmosphere is strange. It's we haven't even gotten it. And like I said, atmosphere is what we live in. We haven't talked about this what is that? What is it called? Solar? What do you call it outside the atmosphere?
It's third at
Solar? No. Solar system?
the
No.
solar system. Then you had the ozone layer. They didn't talk about that no more.
Yeah, but that's part of that's keeps our atmosphere inside of our contained to the earth.
And then
But
then they all
what's outside of the atmosphere? That's called space, I guess.
space.
Yeah.
And then you know what else they say? There's a lot of CO2 gases that we needed for life. You need CO2 gases.
CO2. What's the breakdown?
Yes,
Yeah, carbon monoxide,
carbon
carbon
oxide.
dioxide,
No, but
carbon
you need
dioxide.
that.
Well, we don't need it. The plants need it.
Plants, trees, everything it needs it.
Right. We breathe in oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide, which
Yes.
which goes which the plants take that in and they grow and give us oxygen.
So wearing a mask is like like you're breathing your own carbon dioxide in.
No, you're breathing air. If you didn't, you'd be passed out somewhere. But I tell you one thing I just found out you shouldn't do. My wife was reading an article and she said you know how people breathe in the helium to make their voices change? Like
Yes.
some kids did that and they died.
What about nitrogen?
They sucked the helium in, and when they sucked the helium in, I guess, see, even when you do that, you're not supposed to suck it into your lungs. You're not supposed to suck
No.
it to your throat. And I guess they sucked it all the way into their lungs, and it took away their oxygen. And when it
Yes.
took away their oxygen, that was it. They died. You
What
know?
about that nitrous? People use that to get high.
Mhm. You can't. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Hmm.
Okay, what about now?
No, nitrous.
Yeah. Yeah, we on.
What's it on?
No, no. Okay, go ahead. No, I'm just saying it's just no, I don't know. There was something going on. But hopefully
So
we'll
there's
say again, Walter, what were you saying?
Steve, any more new news
Yeah, I
at
got
all?
you. I got you. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we were saying that you were saying that nitrogen? We're not talking about nitrogen,
No,
we're talking about
nitrous.
nitrous. What's
The
nitrous?
laughing gas, people get
Oh,
high
laughing
off of
gas.
that.
Nitrous oxide, they
Yes.
call it. Yeah, nitrous oxide is could be deadly. All right, Dorothy, I'm hanging.
Yes.
Okay. All right, bye. Nitrous oxide, yeah, that's why you have to have a trained anesthesiologist when they administer that, because they could be fatal also. But
Yes.
the children were sucking in helium. And I guess when you're doing that, and I don't recommend that anybody do it, because obviously it's killed someone, kills a couple people,
Yeah.
and they were children, if I'm not mistaken. They sucked it
Where
in.
at?
I'm not sure where in the U.S. Might have been on the West Coast, but they tried it and it sucked all the oxygen out of their lungs, and they died. Boom.
Wow.
Yeah, so don't do that. Let's talk a little bit about the local stuff, man. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but a week ago, there was an incident right here on Waller in the 1100 block where someone broke into, I think it was a house, no, or an apartment. And I guess no one was home, but the dog and the burglars shot and killed the dog.
Well, that's wrong.
And it's like, why are you shooting and killing dogs? And why are you shooting and killing people? And why are you shooting and killing? Why are you making burglaries murders? This is, you know, it's going a little too far.
I mean, what did they take anything out of there or no?
I'm not sure about that. But again, if the dog was barking too loud, and from my understanding, it was a pit bull. I mean, if the dog
Wow.
was barking while you were trying to rob the joint, um, did you not think the gun was louder than the dog? People probably heard the gunshot or what shots or whatever it was. So I don't know. We got some crazy situations going on. 3 weeks ago,
Well,
the guy was killed just buying chicken. Kill the guy for chicken. I mean, for whatever reason, just buying chicken.
for his money or
Yeah,
for
I'm sure it was a robbery that went wrong, but it went really wrong.
what's the name of the place?
What's the name of what place?
The chicken place you're saying.
Wells Chicken.
Wells Chicken.
Yeah, but yeah, it just went really wrong, if you ask me. Then what the heck's going on with the police shooting their own in the back? how I'm like
That's wrong.
you go after someone that didn't have a weapon, and then you end up firing at someone because of whatever reason, I don't know. And then you shoot your own partner or patrolman in the back and kill them.
Hey, Steve, I got a question. How come they don't use their taser? Why they gotta draw their gun?
Because they fear for their lives, and when you fear for your life, a taser ain't gonna take away the next person's life. When they say
No,
they
but
fear,
if you're in close quarters and your partner's in front of it, you should use laser or thing to neutralize the problem. Because if you don't have a clear shot, don't take it.
but what if the person that's that you're trying to neutralize or stop, what if they have a better shot at whatever they're trying to do? You gotta, you know.
No, but that's not where we're at. I mean, if the person doesn't get a shot and the girl's in front, the police officer in front of you, you cannot have a clear shot. You should use a non-lethal force first, knock him down to the ground. Then,
I don't think that's what they're trained to do in the academy. I really don't think.
well, that's why we're in this incident now. That now we have to explain it to the family, or it's gonna be all over the
No,
news,
my
friendly
question is,
fire.
my question is, wait for the lawsuit.
There's gonna be two lawsuits
Why you say that?
against the family, the mystic, against the other person, and then
What
the
other person?
family.
What other person?
Because he's gonna get charged with murder or not?
Who, the other
Or-
policeman?
yeah, he's gonna get charged maybe.
Well, I don't know if he's gonna get charged, but there could be a lawsuit for, wrongful what they call it? Wrongful death.
Wrongful death. So that's a civil. There's two suits. There's a civil suit and there's a criminal suit.
And then she's gonna get, honor not what they not honorable, but died in the line of duty.
And
Um,
then the police officer is gonna get fired.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's gonna get fired. Whoever shot another police officer is probably gonna get fired.
You think
Yeah,
so?
I think so.
Well, they
Cause
fired
if
him. He
you,
might just resign because that's traumatic.
Mhm.
yeah, yes. Cause let's say you got a civil suit against you, and you got another suit, cause they're gonna sue the Chicago, the Chicago,
Police.
So the family is gonna sue, and then they're gonna get money from the city of Chicago, and then the guy's gonna say goodbye. You know?
No, but I disagree that he may resign. I mean, cops kill people every day, and they stay on. Shoot, you can't even arrest when they try to tell them you're going to jail. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm still want to keep doing my job. So I
Huh.
don't know about that one. They just give up and quit. I've seldom, hardly ever heard of cops just like, oh, I did something wrong. I think I want to quit.
Well, you don't know what he's going to be faced with from the other officers because he killed one of their own. So you don't
Yes,
know
this
what
is
type
big.
of retaliation they'll do.
Yes, this is
So
big.
it might be so miserable he might choose to leave.
Or
And
it
it
goes,
happened.
yeah, you're right. Because I'm gonna say he can't even go to another district because they would know.
Yeah, you're labeled. You're done. From the sixth
Mm.
district
Let
that
me tell you,
happened.
I'm gonna tell you something. I knew a guy that was on the police force. Oh man, he went in 93, and I ended up seeing him around 2000. 3, 4, 5, something like that. 10 years later, and he was telling me about an incident where he worked in 25th District, black officer. And he said his white partner, they were called to an abandoned building, and then they were supposed to go in and check something out. But something about the partner he was with, something had went down or something, some situation where he just didn't trust him. And he was like, he told him to go ahead, you go on in there. And he's like, nah, I ain't doing it. And he literally said, I didn't go, man, because it was something about the officer that he didn't trust. They must have had an argument or something. I don't know.
Setup. It was a setup.
Yeah, that's what he felt, and he didn't do it. He said he didn't go in. He said but whatever happened before that, this kind of stuff must happen a lot because, man, if you're on duty and you can't trust your own partner, man.
It's true.
That's not a comfortable feeling, man. You're at work and somebody's, you have to have the authority to take people's lives, and they're standing behind you with this authority, and you're supposed to feel comfortable with doing your job. No.
That's 100% true.
And you know what? I saw the footage of the when all of the officers came down on the scene. One of the officers was walking around with his gun out, like he's about to. I'm like, this is what, 40 minutes later, 20 minutes later, even if it was 15 minutes later, he's walking around with his gun out like he's looking for somebody. I'm like,
gun ho. He's gun ho.
I'm like, who are you looking for? Your own. You look at all these officers standing around you.
Wow.
You can put the gun away now. It's 30 officers out here. You would run,
No, but they're gonna wait probably a week for to the funeral procession and everything, and then they're probably gonna file afterwards.
Man, that's just
because that's an accident.
Well, look at the cop that got shot in the leg on Grand and Keeler. The kid, the young man, I don't know if it was a kid or whatever, but I do know he was being chased. He turned around and shot the cop in the leg, and they killed him. They killed the young man.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't even know how they let him turn around and shoot back.
Huh.
But I mean, this is all in the same week. So, man, what the heck is going on? And summer doesn't hit until when?
I think the 21st.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we could wait.
No, they want to get a jump on things.
So anyway, yeah, let's wind it on up, y'all. We got a lot to go over. We didn't have we didn't go on for Memorial Day. That was one thing, and we talked a little bit. We got a little bit on the subject last week, but we got Father's Day coming up next weekend. What else is going on?
There's Flag Day.
What's that?
Flag Day.
When is Flag
June 14th.
14th. Flag Day is the 14th?
Yes.
Oh, well, everything's going on the 14th. They got Puerto Rican. They're doing their thing at Columbus Park, I think 13, 14, 15.
Yes, like and then
not Columbus Park, Humboldt Park. Humboldt Park.
Somebody's birthday.
Whose birthday?
The Orange Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then they got Juneteenth.
You got Juneteenth started. And guess what? Where's Barry at? Because Barry came by the house and everything else, man. We're talking about this. They got a thing, they call it No King Day. And I'm like, okay, what's that now? And it's like, that's what we really need to be talking about. Well, No King Day is supposedly the day that all over the country people are protesting in regards to not paying attention to President Trump's birthday, and he got some type of military thing he's trying to have for his, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about.
No, but they're having the National Guard going to LA right now.
Yeah, that too. So,
That's-
I mean, there's a lot going on in America, people not even aware of, but it has a lot to do with, like you said, the orange man in the White House messing with our green. Because at the end of the day, now you talk. Remember you said, Walter, about all the crime that goes on is based around money? Not all the crime. Sometimes you just
Pretty much, yes.
people have
The
mental illnesses.
upper scale, yes.
Yeah, probably upper scale. But
No, he's making money in the White House.
yeah, he's making a lot of money all over.
No, because he's selling that Bitcoin. That's digital currency. That's not good. But people are buying into that.
Yeah, but people were buying into it before he got involved, right?
He's yes, but he's starting his own Bitcoin.
Which I don't know if there's some kind of antitrust stuff going on there. It's weird that no one ever dives into what he does right or wrong. He gets a brand new plane from the Saudis, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to use the plane now. I'm just going to use it when I put it in my library. Yeah, right. Your library, really? He didn't get a library, did he?
Well,
No.
not yet. Yeah. I mean, he may eventually.
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. Why he didn't get a library on the last lick?
Yeah. Well, you got to fundraise for those things. They don't use their own money. You know, he's too selfish for that.
Yeah, but he's rich. He claims to be a billionaire. He claims, so I don't know.
No, he made money off that media stuff.
Yeah, they don't use their own money. He's right, exactly. All the money he gets, he puts in his pocket. So he's trying to
First of all,
Yeah, he's making
I
billions.
don't think he know what a real library is. He just fired the black lady that was the chief librarian of Congress,
right.
that was almost at her tenured mark. She was there since Bush or something like that. He fires her, sends her a letter, didn't even acknowledge her, as honorable such and such. And then his press secretary gets on and says, "Oh yeah, we had to get rid of her because of her views with DEI and the books that she was putting in the library." And then find out later on, the Library of Congress, her position has nothing to do with libraries. The Library of Congress is a research center. That's it. It has nothing to do with books or the local libraries or any of that. She's not over that. So,
Right.
And what about his buddy Elon Musk is gone?
you sure about that? Because you said
Yeah, he's gone.
I don't know if that's quite true. I mean,
Well, they were throwing mud at each other all week, so but I don't know if he's gone, but I know they were
distraction. Could be a good distraction.
And that's all and this is the reality. Back to what you just said, Steve, distraction. What they doing is, like I say, where they distracting the American people, they stuffing money in their pockets. Okay. That's all. I mean, look at it. I mean, just look and think about it. How these different out of the way. Now, what the hell would you be going into California trying to start a riot and kill all the Hispanics and now you're going I mean, some people been over there all their lives and centuries of decades of family members, and now you're gonna send them all back to this is all distractions why they stealing money. I'm telling you. So I mean, when it all come out, because see, everybody, and then Elon Musk threw that out there last week that he was in the Epstein files molesting young girls, and so this is all a distraction. You see, all a distraction. You see,
did he have a rebuttal to that?
Nope, not that I saw.
Wow.
Not that I saw. He said that's why they haven't released the files because Trump is in there, you know. And then
Wow.
on the other end, Trump is trying to release the
Kennedy.
MLK files. Well,
Yeah.
and the MLK files too,
And
you
Kennedy.
know,
That's funny
and
because
Kennedy.
I remember
Hmm.
he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. It's like,
Right.
really?
Right.
People don't care about that anymore.
Right. So, you know, they need the, so, and then what I think it popped up on my phone today is the only sitting president that has a felony, and then he's, ever, you know, and
It's
stuff.
a
So
lot.
all this is, just distractions and everything. Like they say, and I know somebody's watching, somebody,
But
more in
again,
depth than us.
I get the big distraction, but why? That's the question.
Well,
Why
why?
is
Because
this?
they're stealing money. That's the why. They're
Okay.
stealing money.
So
Money.
put it into this perspective. Money now is digital. You could
Mm-hmm.
track it
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. If
Mm-hmm.
they were stealing, paper currency or coin currency, that would be different. But even then, you can kind of track coin and well, who's going to steal millions and millions of dollars of nickels and quarters?
Yeah, but
No,
I mean, I know what you're saying as far as the physical act of stealing, right? I
Right,
guess I'm talking about the mental act because he's got all these people going into all these files with the government that was secret, and then he's doing all these things with other governments, you see. And I remember all that Putin stuff, that blew up in his face, because he was gonna stop the war, and then Putin, is doing and Putin probably, sent him a nice assassination letter or something. And
right.
so he's
Yeah,
so he's doing all this other
nice
stuff to
assassination.
confuse the American people. So they won't be asking them, yeah, wait a minute, I thought you were gonna do this, I thought you were gonna do that, right? And
Right,
everything. So now it's like, okay, so let me do a diversion, on what I'm doing in the background. We already know he was selling his own digital coin and made billions off of it, and all these unethical things that no president has ever done, couldn't even got away with, okay?
right.
what
And
about
things like
Biden?
that, you know.
Biden was stealing too.
Well, but look at how I mean, he's stealing right in front of our face. Did Biden have a digital coin? Did
No, but
Did
Biden
Biden
had
sell
secrets with
watches?
Ukraine.
Did,
Ukraine
what?
deals. Biden had family in Ukraine,
I
and
ain't
he
heard
had
about
deals
none of that.
with China.
Yeah, so no, that I thought they put a guy in prison for lying about that on Biden's son. Did you know that? They
No, they have
they
a
put
laptop.
Yeah, they put a gentleman in prison. Go Google it. The guy that said that Hunter Biden was doing some kind of deals with China. They found out late. I mean, the man is in prison as we speak. Okay, because they just did, I believe, this year, sentence the man because they found out that he lied. He lied. Somebody paid him. I can't remember who, but Google it. Google it, and you'll see
Wow.
for yourself. Yeah, they put that so-called informant that
So you're
said
telling
about
me,
that. No, I ain't
so
telling you
you're
nothing. I'm telling you to
no,
Google
you're
it.
telling me that
I'm telling you to Google
Hunter
it.
Biden never went to Ukraine.
I'm telling you to Google it. That's what I'm telling you. See, that's my go-to. Cause see, people, it's all these different things that we hear a piece of this and a piece of that. It's in the news. You ain't got to listen to Crystal, right?
So
So
Hunter
you
Biden
Google
never
it.
went
Well,
to
Hey,
Ukraine.
Google
I
it.
mean, you
Google it.
harping on Hunter Biden, but
Right.
what about
Right.
Eric and the Trumps? Where they
Right.
at?
Right.
They're in Middle East,
Right.
they're in Russia, they're everywhere trying to steal money and set deals up. So leave Biden alone. He gone.
Yeah, he gone.
Talk
He been
about
gone.
them
Right.
Trumps
And
who's
Yes.
and and if
steady
you want to
doing
know
stuff.
about that Biden, like
What
I
do you
say,
mean? He's
Google it.
going physically or is it
No,
mentally?
He's
You
out
talk,
of the picture. That's what she
He
said.
is no longer the president.
you
Okay.
talking like you using the same old scapegoat. You
Right,
going for the
exactly. You
Republican
using the
playbook.
Trump stuff. I'm
They
telling
say
you
go
to
back to
Google it,
Biden.
which is current news at your fingertips, and you wanna
Okay, I want to ask you, why would they get?
don't ask
No, no,
me.
no,
I
no.
told you to
Listen,
Google it.
1 minute, 1 minute. Why would they pardon the whole family?
Look, Google it. You ask them.
I'm asking you. You
I
were
don't. You
Google
can't
right
ask
Why
me
now.
would he
because
pardon
I'm
his
not
whole? Why would
involved
he
in
pardon
it.
his whole family?
Look at all the
Yeah.
people Trump done pardoned who were guilty
Because
as hell.
because when you know
Guilty.
when you got a snake about to bite you, and there's a bunch of people in the room, you inoculate everybody because you don't know which person might get bit by the snake. You just want to be safe. That's all. I mean, sounds like a good white thing to do. Cover everybody.
And Fauci got pardoned. Why?
He did too.
Yes. I gotta Google it.
Well, Fauci didn't
That's
do
right.
nothing but try to save lives.
Right, exactly.
So why
So
was
what
he
it,
pardoned?
what I mean,
Just
why
told
he didn't
you.
convict the man? He was a doctor doing what he was supposed to do. I don't see no wrong in Fauci.
He
Oh
because I
my
mean,
God.
wait, and when you Google it, they actually gave a reason why they pardoned him. Okay, so it's all in the
Why?
when you read the story. Biden said in the story why he pardoned him. So you don't have to ask me. Google it, and then you can have the facts. You don't have to
I
listen to
still believe
me.
I still believe in the whole idea that when you got a snake in the dark room, you don't know which person, and there's hundreds of people in the room, and the snake's slithering around. You need to put snake venom in everybody in the room,
I
just in
know,
case,
right?
some people get bit. Even although they may not torment the snake, they may not try to kill the snake, but snakes do what snakes do. And you need to be prepared to
Right, because
protect
and that's the thing about, and I call them the Trumpettes. They need to be a dance combo, right? Those people. Because that's the thing. It's strange how, and I've had these conversations before. I don't even know your name, sir. But when you say Google it so you can get the facts, it's like they're scared to Google it because they'd rather argue with you, right? I mean, hell, yeah. Guess
I'm
what?
not arguing. We're just philosophing.
I book travel. Now you want to ask me about Africa? We can have a conversation. But I can't
Okay,
tell you
we're gonna
nothing
talk about
about
Africa.
Trump and
Hey, well,
Biden
now I got. Let me
what
ask you about
happened a
Africa.
year ago
Let
and
me ask you
all of
about
that.
Africa.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
Since we're gonna talk about Africa, why they bring the white Africans here?
Well, he said, wait, hey, Steve, Google it. He said, he said why he brought him here. Okay, he said why he brought him here.
But he
It
was
was
the
in the
one that
news.
said Africa was a shithole
Mm-mm.
country.
Right.
We
Yeah.
bringing
Who
shithole
said
people
that?
from the shithole country here.
Yep. He said
No,
why
but they're
he
fighting over there right now.
no, there was not no. They brought people from South Africa where they ain't nobody fighting over there. Okay.
How do you know?
Google it, and you can see
I did.
that's a
I
fact.
did,
Okay.
ma'am.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Trump invented
In
that
South
lie
Africa.
that they were
Okay.
killing all the white farmers in
No, he
Africa.
didn't say they were killing no white farmers. They said that they were restricting them from something.
No, he said it was genocide with the white farmers,
Really?
and the
Yeah,
African
he did say that.
leader said that's a lie. That's not
Mhm,
true.
mhm,
So they trying to get all the white Africans to
mhm.
America, saying that their life is in
But
danger.
why they didn't take them back to their country where they came from?
Right, right.
Where they
There's the
from? Dinland,
question.
Daneland, Cinnamon Roll, whatever.
What did you say? Cinnamon roll?
Yeah, Danish,
Steve,
Danish.
I don't think there's no place called cinnamon roll, okay?
Well,
That I know of. I
there's
don't
a
know.
place
But
called
Steve, I'll
Danish, right?
Google it and find out.
Yeah, Danish. They got
Denmark.
Danish cinnamon roll, sweet roll.
Denmark.
Denmark,
They
yeah,
come from Denmark.
Denmark, yeah. Well, that's
They
what I'm
used to
saying.
come
Why
from
would they not
Denmark.
want to go back there? Hey,
I couldn't answer that one. I don't know.
I'm like, America? Come on. But I was told those white people were there for over 600 years. And they got a claim to something. And I'm like, really? 600 years?
Really?
Yeah, I
600
was
years?
told that. I was told they were there before the Zulus, which probably could have
Oh,
been
come on.
somebody. They said it was another group of people there, the Aquarians or something, and then another group of black Africans, and then the Zulus came later. But they said the group of white people got there 600 years, in South
Wow.
Africa, and I'm like,
Okay.
just because they got there don't mean that they discovered it.
Mm.
I mean, if I ended up in your living room tomorrow and I said, "Ooh, look at this color TV," it must be mine.
Okay, I know that's right.
No, it can't be yours because it was here before. No, I discovered it. Look, I'm looking at the Discovery Channel right now. But you know what? It's so funny now that people look at history and they start to question it. And they're really saying, wait a minute. This history was their history. It wasn't the history that we were taught and know of. So people are questioning, why do people regurgitate what's being said? They're not 100% sure why it's being said. And again, I said a week ago, it has a lot to do with, if you tell a lie long enough, you'll begin to believe it.
Oh, sure. Definitely,
Yeah.
That's the
Hey,
truth.
the guy told me the reason. I said, how do you figure that they discovered these places? I said, people were all over the earth at many places at many times in the history of the earth. He says, well, because when the white people came, they had navigation systems and ships and technology, and the other people just had canoes. I'm like, what? That constitutes discovery if you're a little more advanced in certain things. But then if that's the case, when the Moors went into Europe, they discovered white people because they brought technologies to Europe. But
Right, so
we really
true.
didn't see it that way. So, I don't know. I just think people need to take a step back and try to really understand what's true, what's false, and what they say, what's in the middle,
Right.
what's right.
Right. Yeah.
You got true and false and what's really right. Right down the middle. But again, hey, this is the question I have to pose. Did anybody know about this No King's Day next weekend on the 14th?
No what?
No King's Day. That's supposed to be the day that all over the country people are protesting, and I don't know what kind of protest, to kind of, I guess, snub or poke a finger in the president's face about because he wants to be a king, I guess, and he wants to have this big military parade in honor of his birthday or something. I mean, that's new to me also.
That's what it is, Steve. His birthday is on the same day that the U.S. Army will be 250 years old. I believe that's 250 years. I believe it is, or close to that, and that's also his birthday. So he said, "Well, if they're celebrating the Army's birthday on the same day as my birthday, so I want a big military parade, for my birthday." And they tried to tell him, he tried to do this the last time he was president, and they told him, you can't run tanks down the streets of Washington, D.C. because the streets are not made to support 6 tons of weight per vehicle. It'll collapse the road. But he's adamant he wants that parade, so they're shipping in. Those first convoys of tanks arrived by train today for his birthday.
Really?
Yep, he wants airplanes and tanks and
won't they just
soldiers
do
to
it like
march.
Do it like on the lawn.
Just like Kim Jong-un does. Just like Vladimir Putin does, military parades. And that's what dictators and kings get. So that's why they named this protest No Kings, because we're a free people. We don't have a king.
Wow.
That's the story.
That's amazing that I don't recall. Did we ever celebrate the president's birthday?
No.
After they die, you know.
Well, maybe we should do that then.
President's Days.
Hey, that's a good idea.
You know, you have to wait. They you know.
Oh, you gotta wait.
Congress will put your face.
Dang, Steve, you sound disappointed. Dang, we gotta wait. I mean, well, we had President's Day already, okay? That's the thing.
Yeah.
We had President's Day, you know?
Yeah, we celebrate their birthdays, like Washington,
Right.
Lincoln.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We don't do it on
We've been
separate.
doing that for,
right.
Yeah.
But I never
No,
knew.
he wants something special for him.
Right.
But I mean, so this is all new to some people on here about this No King's Day.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it, but I know today I had read an article. They were saying something about they were pissed because that's the same day that the Pope thing is going to be at Wright Field, and that's going to take some of the attention off of Trump.
Wait a minute, the Pope.
Well, you know, the Pope was from Chicago, so they got a big thing at Guaranteed Rate Field with all these people, and I guess it's going to be telecast, you know, and the Pope is going to...
I missed that too.
Yeah, so it was like $5, you know, and you could, you know, just have a good day, you know, and, you know, somebody that's real important. And...
So we got the beginning of Juneteenth. We got Father's Day weekend. We got Puerto Rican Festival weekend. We got what is this thing we're talking about? No King's Day. We got there's something else that's going on this Saturday.
Yeah, Talaferro having a pre-Father's Day thing from 11 to 1 on 5701 Madison.
The heck is 5701. That's by a police station somewhere. Okay. All right, that was a downer. I'm like, yeah. What is he gonna really give you?
Well, if anybody was anybody watching the news just in the last hour or so?
The what?
The news?
No.
In the last hour or so. So I just got I just checked in, watched the television for a few minutes, and they've been protesting in Los Angeles for 3 days. And the Trump called 2,000 National Guard in. And the police they formed a barrier between the National Guard and the protesters because Trump armed the National Guard. He federalized them, which means they only report to Trump now. The governor has no power over them, and Trump armed them with real weapons and real bullets, and told they're to shoot to kill the American public.
What is the protest about?
The protest is against the way that the ICE is snatching people up off the streets.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, okay.
So this is all real.
Yeah, they're taking just anybody. It took a 9-year-old boy.
Oh man, Lord.
That's just crazy. And throw them in a foreign prison. You know what they'll do to that child?
It's a lot of
Lord
stuff.
Jesus.
My thing is how with the ICE agents, how do you tell who's a real ICE agent? The guys are wearing masks. They don't really have. Last time I checked, it looked like they had Habilitative Systems Inc. incorporated on their jacket, on their suits. But I guess it stands for Homeland Security something. I don't know. HSI. but
Yes.
I mean, so again, they don't have like badges and with that show you. So,
I heard they came in military fatigues here in Chicago. Was that just yesterday?
yep.
And they don't answer no questions. You know, you don't see any number or name on them. You know, they're unidentified.
Right.
So that's scary. You know.
No, what's scary is what I've been
Anybody
seeing.
could come up and say, "You're coming with me." You know.
Right.
How is the person supposed to know? End up somewhere in a dumpster dead. You know. Because some weirdo grabbed you.
No, what's scary is what I seen a couple weeks ago. A guy shows me his AR and he goes, "Hey, look at this. I got an AR." I'm like, "Really? And what do you really want to do with that?" "Oh, you know, just in case the war." I'm like, "What war?" You know,
Oh yeah.
people already talk. I'm like, what war are you talking about?
Yeah, they're talking about it.
So I'm like, what
People
the heck
do
is
say
going
that.
on? I'm like, man, this is just getting a little much. And someone told me, they said every 10 cars you see, 8 of them have weapons in them.
I don't know
Now, is
anything
that
about
true?
that.
I don't know.
I do know that Trump was, so when I last turned off the television, Trump was supposed to, I think he was going to come out and speak, but what he did tell the reporters is that he's going to have the military everywhere, all over the country, which means I believe he's going to declare an insurrection and then federalize the National Guard and turn it on the public.
But don't you have to have an insurrection in order to declare an insurrection?
He's the only one right now that has the power to declare an insurrection. The president has to declare insurrection. Because this wimpy ass Congress, pardon my language, this Congress is not doing anything to stop him. We really are I don't even know if we'll make it to midterms to have an election. It looks pretty dire.
Where'd you hear this from?
What are you referring to? What are you asking?
I mean, that Trump is going to put National Guard everywhere.
Oh, he said it just maybe 30 minutes ago. CNN. Out of his mouth, not mine. They'll probably televise it some more, or at least that's what he said. There will be National Guard all over the country, everywhere. That's what Donald Trump just said maybe 20, 30 minutes ago.
Well, I gotta watch it myself.
Go right ahead.
Chicago gonna be next because he ain't got no love for Chicago.
Oh, Chicago ran him out of here over at UIC the first time he ran for president.
Yeah, but that's why I said. So Chicago gonna be next because he coming for Chicago because he got something against Chicago anyway about the mayor.
And the governor, he don't like Pritzker.
Well,
Pritzker speaks out against him.
Chicago be next.
Yeah, what about our taxes went up?
What do you mean taxes? What taxes?
The taxes went up.
Who did that?
Pritzker.
You sure?
Yeah.
What about the gas? What about this grocery tax Brandon Johnson talking about?
That's you know what? I think that is Donald Trump.
How is it Donald Trump?
He's the one who has declared the tariffs on every existing country in the world. He said he had 200 deals, right? With countries with all the countries all over the planet. He has 200 deals he had, right? There's not 200 countries, 200 nations in the world. There's like 186 or something nations in this world. But he said he had 200. So I would suppose he likes to exaggerate. I can put it that way. And then he said, I mean, if you've been listening to him speak, all he does is he's talked about tariffs. Right now, we got all this other business going on, so he's not speaking about the tariff.
I think you're right because they talked about the bananas. They said bananas were supposed to go up. And I'm like, really? Because of what? Or the tariffs?
You know what I tell people when they start telling me all this about, oh, that's not true, or oh, I don't know about that. I just tell them, because my cousin's husband, you know, he's a Trump supporter, and he was screaming at me all crazy one day. And I said, look, I'm not here to convince you of anything. Look at your own lived experience. I know that my family spends a certain amount of money on groceries every week. And I haven't changed my budget. I'm still spending that much money, but I'm bringing a lot less groceries home. And that hasn't got anything to do with Pritzker and the taxes or what the city's doing. That stuff is that's water running down the hill. That first raindrop comes from the government, the top level. That comes from when the president decides how he's going to handle the fiscal year. And that comes from his Congress and his decisions. And sometimes it's left over
how
from
long has
things
this been
that were
going?
legislated. Let me finish. If you want an answer, I'm giving you one. And then you can look at your own lived experience. I'm not here to convince you. When you can't pay your light bills and your gas bills, don't run over and point at local government. Point out first what's happening federally. You know what really made me stop and think? I want to speak to everybody for a minute, because really, I mean, we all got to think back on this. I remember when I used to hear back in 2016 when all those people were running for president on both sides, and there was an Asian man, I can't remember his name, but he was a young guy, and he said, I would, if I'm president, I'm gonna give every American $1,000 check. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, that was that Andrew
Andrew Yang.
Yang.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, he's young. He's got rose-colored glasses on. That's crazy. We can't give everybody in the United States $1,000, But guess what? When COVID hit, here's when I knew that young man was telling the truth and the rest of them are a liar. Because when COVID hit and things started shaking down towards the end, not only did they give us $1,000, you remember those government checks, people? We got, I think, $1,200, and guess who signed them?
$1,200 per
Donald
child.
Trump signed them. And now he's telling us we ain't got no money. Okay? But they knew for a fact that this is the richest country in the world. And now when I hear Bernie Sanders saying, hey, because I didn't, I thought I liked Bernie Sanders, but I thought he was reaching a little too far, a little too, optimistic. But when Bernie Sanders said this is the richest country in the world, why don't we have health care? Why doesn't every person have health care? And I thought to myself, he's right. He is absolutely right. Other poorer countries, and you can't tell me the United States is poor because you know what?
We don't have no money.
And they didn't cut a sweat. And now
we have no money here.
Troubles are our troubles? No.
Yes, no.
Yeah, because the richest 1% got all of it.
We're not the richest country in the world.
But the richest 1% live here.
You need to stop.
Look, 1 minute. We are $36 trillion in the hole. Yes or no?
We've always been in the hole. What's the difference?
Okay.
And where did those deficits come from? And we're not $36 million in the hole. I'm sorry, $1 trillion in the hole. We're not.
No, we are.
What you're reading or where you're getting your information. But yes, like the other lady said, you need to.
Are you smoking some good stuff? What do you think are we at? What trillions of dollars?
What we need to do is tell Trump and those oligarchs and rich billionaires to stop stealing from us. That's our tax dollars they're stealing. They didn't make that honestly. They took it from us out of the mouths of our babes. So they need to stop stealing, go to jail, or go to wherever they want to go, get the hell out of the United States because they're destroying us.
That's true, ma'am.
If you took all of
They are
the,
taking away rights that we've had since the inception of this country.
Yeah, how
Since
long
the
is that?
inception of this country. Some of
1913.
them hard won.
It's $36 trillion in the hole.
We're
No,
not hearing
that's-
you anymore. You
Huh?
keep saying the same thing.
It's true. It's facts.
Okay,
You don't. You
point
Well,
cannot
take it
believe
back
it.
from those rich
Next.
people. Take it back from them. That's why we're in the hole. We're not in the hole because he's spending on a regular, everyday Joe Blow. If we're in the hole like that, it's because he's taking it, giving it to the rich
Not
people,
one
Thank you,
messing
person
with
ma'am.
all
was
this
all the
stuff that don't
presidents.
make no
Thank you,
sense,
ma'am.
spending our money on stupid shit.
Yeah, all
Stuff
presidents
that we don't want.
for their.
Don't go all presidents because that's not
Yes,
true.
yes.
It's Trump.
Listen, Democrats
Trump.
have balanced the budget several times after Republican presidents. Take a look at your history.
Baloney. That's
Every
baloney.
time the Democrats bring
Wrong,
the deficit back. No,
wrong.
don't tell me wrong, honey. Don't tell me
Yes.
wrong.
And then I'm not your honey either.
You're right. You're definitely not.
I ain't gonna be your honey either.
I'm not interested, thank you. But go ahead, make your point, please.
No, okay. You're telling me that the deficit is not 36 trillion.
no, it
I'm
is.
not
What
telling
is
you
it?
anything.
No, I want to ask.
Google it.
It's you
I
guys.
just
What
checked.
do you think it is?
It is
Steve,
36
Google it.
trillion. I
Okay,
just did.
thank you, Barry. Thank you, Barry. See, somebody
Is
got
it
a
currently
brain on this
36
station.
trillion, Barry?
What's that?
Barry, what is it currently?
The total debt is 36 trillion owed
And you
by
could believe that.
owed by the federal government, which includes the debt held by the public and intergovernmental holders.
And
So
then when the Federal
wait a
Reserve.
minute.
What is the federal deficit?
Let me just.
What is the federal deficit?
So you
It
need to
looks
go
like
back to
36.
school.
I can't.
Go
When it comes to
1913.
Hold on, Walter.
I'm sorry, Barry. This gentleman's talking over you. I still can't get you.
I think it's 36 trillion is the federal deficit, which comes out to about 106,000 per person. However,
I'll never make that in my life.
However, wait a minute. However, if you took all the wealth of everyone in the U.S. and divided it equally for the 360 million or whatever the current figure is, it would come out, as I recall, to about $600,000 per person. So that would mean that we would every single man, woman, and child would have about $500,000 if it were even, but it's certainly not. Almost all the wealth of the country is held by the morbidly rich people.
And so we're taking up their debt. Is that because
What?
they're getting tax breaks that affect their wealth? It doesn't hinder their wealth, but it is crushing the average American.
But you forget, the wealthy believe in trickle-down economics. If you give them
and
tax
they're the
breaks,
only ones who believe in it.
right. If you give them tax breaks, they'll hire more people so they can slave them. I can get more
So
slaves.
we've been enslaved since 1913.
What, slavery? What are you talking about?
No, Federal Reserve Bank. So we got to pay interest on our own money. There's a fiat currency. Yes, no.
I don't know.
So we're
Yes,
we're not going to fix the federal deficit in this conversation. Is there another topic? That we can
But we did. We did, but we did get rid of the deficit. You know that, right? Under Clinton.
I know he brought it down, but it's escalated under Trump under each of his administrations.
His administration, as a Democrat, he brought it to 0. And then all of a sudden, when Bush got back in there, bloop.
Clinton did do that, yep, but nobody wants to talk about that.
Never.
Yeah, what happened to Clinton?
Everybody.
He had scandals behind him.
Yeah, he should.
Oh, and what about Donald Trump and his puta wife?
Who? The what kind of wife?
They don't have any scandal? Are you telling me Donald Trump don't have any
No,
scandal?
what did you call her?
What about in your personal life? You got closets?
She said
pulero.
Cumplero? Cumplero?
In other words, she's a whore. She's a
Charmuta. Charmuta?
I don't know what you're trying to say, sir.
Charmuta.
She don't even speak English.
Stop me when I lie. Hey, wait
That's
a minute,
Arabic.
Well, Jifka, you know what Jifka is.
I'm not speaking Arabic. Stop me when I lie.
Jifka is Polish.
Was his wife not spread eagle on magazine covers for the whole and sundry to see? And doesn't Vladimir Putin show his nude, naked wife on Russian television just to humiliate the man? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Russian, you know what? Donald Trump is a joke to the globe. Every leader, we should be worried about this. You forget the deficit. Look at America's standing in the world. I don't even want to call him our president. Donald Trump is a humiliation on his own. He's a scandal on his own. This man is bought and sold by everybody who has money. On top of that, his wife, oh my gosh, where do I start? Right? So please.
You love her wife.
These are people like, remember the Flintstones and his neighbors, the monster people? Remember that cartoon? With the wife Crepella and I forget what the husband's name was.
Gomez.
Donald Trump and his wife are an embarrassment to this nation. When he was at the UN, the whole world's leaders turned around and laughed at him when he called himself a genius from the podium, and they all laughed in his face. He's the leader of our country, for crying out loud.
So is Biden any better?
If you are proud of Donald Trump as an individual, you know what? Go your happy way. But as a representation of who we are as a people, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The man has no integrity. He has an embarrassment.
You sound like you got a lot of hatred in you.
Please. The man.
Yeah, please.
He's just, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You think everything happened overnight?
Barry, help me. Very nice. I'm so frustrated with this mess that we have going on in our country right now. It's a shame. It's just a public shame.
Diana, it doesn't pay to argue about any of this stuff. It's all designed.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just merely stating the
facts.
Thank you.
I want to change the subject, if I could.
Go ahead, Barry.
Yes.
It's all designed.
What I wanted to bring up is this Saturday in Oak Park, in the middle of Oak Park, I think it's from 1 to 3, is going to be a No King's Day protest. And I wanted to urge everybody to show up.
What is that?
Between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m.
What is that? What does that mean? What is that?
No, it's a nationwide protest. A couple days it was 1,600, and now there are going to be 1,800 demonstrations across the nation in all 50 states saying...
What day is it?
Saturday. Saturday.
I'm going to represent Flag Day. If you guys are against me or for it, you be a true American. I don't care about no king. There is no king. There's one American.
Okay, so we got Flag Day We got No Kings Day. We got Puerto Rican Heritage Day. We
And
got
Juneteenth.
beginning of Juneteenth. We
Right,
got
you got my mama's birthday.
we forgot that.
Happy birthday.
Right,
And
it's
what else
June
we got?
14th.
No, it's something else we got
Happy
going on
birthday
that
to
day.
her.
All this is gold. Oh, pre-Father's Day. That's 5. That's number 6. So we could do, and what the heck we doing? We got all these things going on here on one day. Somebody,
Barry,
Well,
I'll be there.
I say the most important one of them all is No Kings protest.
No,
Because-
Flag Day. One country,
Hey,
one God,
Walter,
one American.
Walter, don't talk over me, please. Let me just finish what I'm saying, and then you can have your say. So, what's happening in LA can happen everywhere, and it's important that if we're against this, that we express ourselves and come out for 2 hours and just stand there, hold a sign or don't hold a sign, saying that we are not a monarchy. We do not have a king. The revolution, the American Revolution, was against having a king and taxation without representation. We need representation.
I like the part. I like the way you're going with the taxation part. Because earlier, Barry,
You're
I told you.
stupid, Texas.
No, well, I'm saying if you're going to protest, go out with a bang. Hit them where they hurt. Hit them in their wallet. Make sure you don't. Make sure you come up with an agenda to crash the stock market or something, or you do something where I said tell everybody don't turn their phones on for 2 hours, because that you ain't buying on Amazon. You ain't gonna buy. You ain't gonna be there looking at this advertisement on this garbage and all this other crap. I mean, some people have to have their phones for
I see what
emergencies.
you're saying. So Steve, that's the days where we had those days where people went to protest and they didn't purchase anything those days. I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, I remember that.
But you know what? I guess a good way would be to say, your No Kings sign to say to the big box companies that are supporting him, like Target and Walmart and Home Depot. I mean, a lot of the places that sell to
The
us
big corporation
gave him money. Some of them, when we looked it up,
Amazon,
when we Googled it,
was Amazon.
they gave
So
to
Barry,
both. So who? I'm
Barry, are you guys going to have the American flag with you?
You can bring
I'm
yours.
sorry, Barry. I thought you were talking over me. You obviously had something important to say.
No, go ahead.
Barry?
I'm sorry if I did.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
no, I mean,
Karen.
I wouldn't mind writing on my sign, Steve, saying something like, hey, big corporations, we're not buying from you. We don't want, no kings or something like that, to let them know, because they're the ones who give them the money to do this. They're who really pour in the money for his campaign, etc.
Right. I mean,
Well,
economics means everything.
Everything, eventually, yes. And it's okay to protest economics at the same time.
Right.
I mean, that's how he's going to hurt us all. You ain't bringing home enough groceries, he's hurting you. You can't
Well,
fill
by
your gas
interest
tank.
rates.
Huh?
You guys are not protesting
please
against
stop.
interest rates?
That's a good idea, is to and I'm glad you brought that up, Miss, because that's a great thing to do also Saturday. All those big businesses
Big
that
box.
supported him, do not shop at their places on the 14th. You see, do not
Right.
shop at their stores. Let them feel how we feel.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start Googling that now.
I'm telling you, all this stuff is all economics. You want to forget Congress be having their hands tied. Forget the whoever's talking about they can't do their job in Congress. Take it to the throat, right there where to the wallet, right where it's gonna hurt the country. Soon as that market start dropping, guarantee you're gonna get their attention. and then wait till these shareholders.
We would hope so. I mean, it did make some of them back up a little bit. Like Walmart said, it would eat the tariff. You know, the Supreme Court actually has put the tariffs on hold, but they know that they should just call that unconstitutional and just, you know, dismiss all of that, because those tariffs are supposed to come through Congress. That's not a presidential decree. He overreached.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that just don't sound right.
Well,
every time we hit them in the pocketbook, it hurts.
Oh yeah, and I guarantee you, they can't deal with the ups and downs, and it's gonna be ups and downs because this is the reality.
But you know, Steve, they're dealing with the stock market right now. I have friends, my old manager, they took some hits with the stock market, and these people still ain't got rid of him, you know, or made him control himself.
No.
You know, if he wants to do his term out, that's fine. Do your term out, but you know, don't destroy the nation while you're doing your term. While you're, you know, we had how many presidents before him? We didn't destroy the nation. You know,
right.
Go ahead and be president.
My
thing work within the confines of the rules.
My thing is,
he has a problem with that.
My thing is, if they can't keep dealing with the ups and the downs, you know, because there's going to be some ups and downs, because let me tell you, nobody on here said one thing about young people. And young people don't have the fortitude, they don't have the conviction, and they don't have the, what's the word I want to say? Well, you just won't give up. They'll, you know, they just, I got to go to Chick-fil-A. I got to have a Chick-fil-A. I got to go to Walmart. I got to get my, you know, they just don't see it. They don't believe in protest and things like that. And, you know, and they'll give in.
I don't know. I couldn't speak for them.
They'll give in, and we get that. But you can't give in to the point that if you protest and you hit them with about 10 or $20 billion, then you go back a month later and you give them 40 billion. That makes no sense. You gotta keep a gradual decline. You gotta keep it, you know, hey, yeah, you might have to have your special soy milk or whatever you're drinking. But come on, man, you ain't gotta have as much. Stop it, cut it off, cut it down.
Steve, all we need is 3.5% of the country to support this. 3.5%. That's what the civil rights movement had. I believe.
What? To support what, Beer?
To support No King's Day.
Well, no King. What is that? What is No King Day? Is that like a warm, fuzzy feeling or something?
No, it's the beginning of protest.
It's the beginning of what?
Protests and economic consequences of doing this stuff, that people aren't going to take it.
So somebody's organizing this?
Oh, yeah. I told you 1,600. I just heard the update. It's 1,800 places around the country in all 50 states.
Because Steve, the 14th is Trump's birthday, and he's having this big, huge, overpriced.
No, it could be a little tiny thing compared to the protests.
No, I'm saying, but Steve wanted to know what King's Day was, because it was because Trump is having this big parade in Washington, correct, Barry?
Mm-hmm.
On that day, and to basically boast that he's the king of America. Mm-hmm. And so these other protests that Barry is talking about, Steve, is that everybody all around the country is going to protest to, let the world know, no, we don't have a king. Trump is not a king.
Okay. Can I do that for
you know what?
So,
I'm sorry, ma'am. My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt you. May I speak?
Crystal,
yes,
you're positive with protesting. And what about Ella?
Yes, Ella? I'm definitely positive about protesting.
Oh, good. That's great.
Protesting
may I say something, Barry?
What?
But I think we should also protest those, like I say, his back to what the other young lady was saying about the economic piece. Protest those sponsors those contributors of Trump, the Chick-fil-A's and the Home Depots and things like that, that they also to cut into their bottom line, into their stocks, you know, and stuff. Watch
Here's
if they
something we can do.
benefit from us, and you know, where the whole the American people are suffering under this nutcase, and so you know, we need to not shop at those stores either that day.
You
Well-
know what else? As we were talking about sponsorships and stuff like that, I think a very simple way for us to protest, and I don't think that it has been, I don't think anyone thought of it, but you know, all the news channels have television sponsors. They all have commercials that they pay big money for, right? They pay for that time slot so they can advertise, and that gets the news station its income. But if we all turn our televisions off on June 14th, those sponsors are going to be throwing away their money. And they won't like that. They will not like that we all turn the TV off.
So
if you ain't going to show up to the protest, don't turn on the television either.
And your phones. I think
And
y'all
your
must have
phone.
scared. You must have scared
Yeah,
Walter.
and
Hey,
your
what happened to
phone.
Walter? Walter, where you go? You scared, man? You got
I'm sorry?
scared. I said you scared Walter all away. He must have left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh man. Hey.
But hey, Steve, you know what I heard was Pope Leo is going to have some celebration on Saturday in Chicago.
Yeah, I heard that too. I told
Yeah,
you it's
he
like
said
7
guaranteed
things going
deal.
on that day. 7 big
Yeah.
things
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago. I can run them down to you again. So Walter said we got Flag Day, then we got Pre-Father's Day, then we got Pope Leo Day, then we got Puerto Rican Heritage Day, and then we got Juneteenth Precursor Day. Then we got what is it called? What do we call it? No King's Day. That's 6, and then there's something else going on that day.
How many of them are real? I never heard of a pre-Father's Day.
Well, Mother's Day is all month, so why not have a pre-Father's
No,
Day?
but that's not a real thing, right?
Yes, it is. I want pre-Father's Day.
Is it? Oh, I don't know. I never heard on it. You know, usually every
they have
holiday
programs.
has
They have
commercials.
programs for fathers.
Chris Talaferro, the
sorry.
alderman
I
Chris
ain't trying to step on
Talaferro
your
is
toes,
promoting
Daddy.
this.
Okay.
Chris Talaferro, the alderman, is promoting that. I guess since Emma Mitz did it for Mother's Day, he's doing it for Father's Day.
Oh, he didn't have nothing original to offer. I had to take it from a woman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're very
bad,
much on
Steve.
track.
I'm being bad, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, you're very much on track with this guy.
It's a group over in Douglas Park. They have a Father's Day. It's some kind of group organization have a Father's Day.
Oh, that's nice.
In Douglas Park.
Oh, okay.
They have it every year. Yeah, it's some kind of organization.
Oh,
they
so
have
it's
that,
been around.
Father's Day.
Okay. They should advertise that more.
You're right.
I never heard anything yet.
Fathers need more.
We have Welcome to Fatherhood. We have that Father's Day.
That program, I've heard of it. Yeah.
We have that cookout, the barbecue cookout every year.
That's nice.
But we won't be having it this year though. We always have it the day before Father's Day. We won't be able to have it this year because there's a new owner of the building and they put a Meineke or whatever there in Oak Park. So we used to be able to shut that block down and have the block. But now that there's new owners and stuff, we won't be able to do it this year.
Oh.
You know, Camilla, there's a Juneteenth event this Saturday at the Oak Park
LaFollette,
Village Hall. What?
Oh. I think there's one at LaFollette Park too. Don't quote me on that, but I thought I saw that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably is, but you know, you've been there. You've come several times, Barry. The thing we do,
yeah, it was great. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we won't be able to do it this year. But we won't be able again because my brother-in-law passed, so his services will be that day, and then after that, we're having a big celebration for two of my nieces. One got her master's, and the other one graduated from high school. Their sisters, so yeah, we'll be out in Frankfurt.
Well, condolences and congratulations.
And congrats.
Yeah, the funeral, and then that afternoon.
Quite a lot going on.
A lot going on the 14th. Yeah,
I know. That's what I was saying, and we're just coming out of all these other things: Memorial Day and Mother's Day, and the summer's coming.
I think No King's Day is important enough to attend. But it's and we won't have a country sooner or later.
I think if
I'm truly concerned.
If there's something going on and you cannot be out there to protest, then like you all just mentioned, cut off the TVs, cut off that sponsorship.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think if nothing else, cut off that TV. You can catch up on the news tomorrow.
hit them below the belt in the wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the news is not going to say anything about what we're talking about. They're not about that.
That's why we got to go underground.
No, Barry, right now, what is surprising me is that what is happening in Los Angeles, that's on television at all. I'm really surprised because there's been some big things going on, and they have not put it on television because, well, Rupert Murdoch owns all of the stations practically in this country now, so they only report what he tells them to do.
Yeah, they only do little snippets on the news about it. It's not like they they only give little bits and pieces about it. Yeah, it has been on different news channels.
There is a podcast I would like to recommend to everyone. It really does, report what actually is happening that we don't see on the news extensively. It's called The Midas Touch. And it's a podcast, and it's very plain speaking, very, upfront. It's only going to tell you what's actually happening. And I find it trustworthy. Yeah. And there's not a lot of trustworthy news out there right now. So that's, if anyone would like to jump on that, take a look at it. I recommend it.
Yeah. I've listened to the Midas Touch. There are a lot of very good podcasts now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coverage in the podcasts of what's going on.
Yeah.
And in one of them, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Barry, please.
And in one of them, I just saw a very large demonstration in LA. And somebody mentioned that 2,000 troops, National Guard troops, is like nothing compared to the size of LA. LA, I think they said, was 500 square miles. So it's huge amount of territory. And I don't know how many million people there are. But millions of people compared to 2,000 troops is like nothing.
We hope, and so we could actually be watching the beginning of the Civil War.
I don't think it's not a civil war. It's a revolution.
No. Yeah, thank you. That's a better word. Thank you. And
a revolution.
That is very scary.
Well,
we haven't lived through that.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump needs to be quickly dealt with, and make him either get out or work within the restraints, the guidelines of the office. And I don't know that's possible because he's put nothing but corrupt yes men around him. So it is important to speak up and protest.
Elon Musk, they said that he stepped down. What happened with that?
It's an ongoing conflict.
I guess I don't know if he disassociated himself with Trump or what happened.
Elon Musk made such a stink with all his Doge craziness. He made such a stink that that he not only got his own self in trouble and his company suffered, but he was dragging Donald Trump down with him because people were calling him the co-president, and Donald Trump didn't like that. They were saying, why does Trump have this guy in charge? You know, he's crazy. And so Elon Musk created too much too much heat. And so they had to get rid of him, and they were waiting. They were just biding their time, knowing that, the spot that Donald Trump put him in was a temporary office. Our government does allow for a special office.
Voted for him. Nobody voted for
him.
No.
But I agree. But Donald Trump had the power within his office of presidency to declare someone a special employee of the government, and that's the task he gives them. But that employment, that special employment, has a deadline. And so either way, Elon Musk was going to have to go. But he was hoping that Donald Trump would keep him on. But he created so much noise and heat that Donald Trump let him go. He couldn't wait to get rid of him because Elon was making it hot for him. So Elon Musk got mad because he wanted to stay on. So that's how come he started attacking Donald Trump. Donald Trump stayed quiet because he was scared of Elon Musk for 48 hours. Usually Donald Trump attacks right back, but he didn't know what to say to Elon for 48 hours. Then he finally said, and he scared Elon by telling him, we'll just cancel his government contracts. That's millions and millions of dollars. So now Elon is walking a little bit more careful.
But the problem is, I don't think I don't think Trump has the power to cancel the contract.
He is supposed to not have the power to do what he's doing, to circumvent due process. He says there's no restraints on Donald Trump, and the GOP is letting him do it. Because I know, not yet. But it's important that we stress these things. It's important that we let people know where we are. Yes, not yet. But at the moment, currently, yes, he is in a position, and we need to remember that. And yes, not yet means we need to act now to stop that. Or it won't be a not yet. It'll be a done deal, and we'll be living under an oligarchy. Say it for me, Barry. Oligarchy.
Anarchy. Is that what you mean, anarchy?
Can I kind of change the conversation for a minute?
Oh, sure. Yes, of course.
Okay. I think we need to continue mental health in our community. We need this mental health people, the people that are speaking on mental health. We need this because this is serious. It's real, y'all. Mental health is real in our community. And I think that the community needs to get together and have, someone to come out and explain to us about mental health, what's going on and how it's going on. That's what I think.
Agreed.
I
agree. And, like last time we tried to get a mental health center, and I think we turned in 2 batches instead of 1. We need to look out for that because they're going to try to do another mental health center in Austin.
Okay.
All right. And so I'll let you know as I find out.
Yes, do that. Mm-hmm. So, we need to come on board and get more together with this in our community. And another thing is with Living Will and Trust. we think we got it together, but it's a lot of things that and Tiny, you know, and Steve know, when you all was at the meeting, it was things that you didn't even know, never thought of, right?
Right.
So we need these things. We need these resources to come to our community and talk to the community and explain to us.
Yeah.
Nonprofits usually fulfill that role. They usually run programs to provide those kind of resources. Are there any nonprofits doing that in the community right now, or is this just not enough? Probably not enough, right?
Well, we used to have so many mental health facilities in the community, and then it got to the point where they started closing everything down.
Yeah, that was Emmanuel from.
Well, it happened before him even. I think it started to be a decline in the 80s and 90s with the mental health facilities.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
So now with a lot of people getting murdered, getting killed, shot down in the street because the police don't know how to address them. They're starting to put a lot of funding back into different communities for training. Now they're starting to see the seriousness of this, and they are starting to open a lot of more facilities. We got mobile crisis units now. It's a lot that they're starting to implement again because they see the seriousness of mental health in the community.
It is. It's serious. It's serious.
Is it government? Is it federal government funded?
Yeah, a lot of these programs are getting funded, government funding. But now, right when things were
taking all that away.
Right when things were really starting to pick up, now Trump has got in office again. He's starting to cut a lot of things out that were initiated. So I don't even know what's going to happen now.
We got to fight for it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's our tax money.
But they want it, Diana. They don't have enough.
Yeah. Yeah. 15 houses is not enough.
Yeah, right. So I want to mention something to you, and Camilla, I'd be particularly interested in your reaction. You know, there's these AI searches that you can do, and it's amazing what you can get from it, including mental health stuff. So I'm thinking that people in the community could get trained about how to help people, help their neighbors by using AI if we organize to do it.
Oh,
like
the AI, you can find out about a lot of different things and train yourself on a lot of different things, Barry. But also, you could help people when you have enough information. But also, the way this society is, you have to be very careful regarding logistics and liability. You know, when I was doing mental health counseling, I had to pay for liability insurance.
Right.
Because you're talking to people trying to help them, and then they end up killing themselves anyway, or they hurt somebody else. They say, "Oh, well, the counselor was talking to them." Then you got a lawsuit. So it's a lot behind that as well.
Yeah,
it's good to have knowledge, but then, like I said, the way things are, you have to be very careful.
Yeah. So we have, it's how to get around all this stuff and not get tied up in red tape, but to take care of the problems that we're faced with. And what I'm saying is there's this technology is amazing what it can do. And if we're all start using it, we can help each other more than waiting for this, the mental health stuff. And the not-for-profits are being starved. I mean, they're cutting Social Security and Medicaid and food so they're not going
the
to fund.
technology going to save us with that? How's the
Well,
technology going to? How is AI going to give us food? How is AI going to give us good health?
I also heard that AI is not such a good thing because it takes jobs from a lot of people as well. So,
I just heard the most recent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, my apologies. You finish.
No, I was saying you can get a lot of information, but I was also talking with someone because they were saying, oh, well, they get now AI, now it's going to be taking a lot of jobs, because everything is becoming computerized, and they're laying people off because now they got the computer systems. So,
That's true.
Well, what's happening is, I think, is capitalism is in the end game and it's getting screwed up and things aren't working. So, but what I say is the technology is phenomenal. And if we can organize ourselves in a way, we don't need somebody who's hired to help us. We can help ourselves. And the remarkable thing about AI is you can ask it about a problem and it'll give you information just like a Google search would, but it will consolidate it into a simple answer. And then you can ask it a follow-up question. And you can say, hey, what if it's a black 27-year-old Marine who was just shot right outside your door? You could be really specific like that, and it'll give you a response.
My only problem with that, Barry, is this. Just like GPS, when it first became relevant and prevalent to us, that thing was taking people off of piers, and it was taking people in front of trains.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but look at the mess we've got now.
Yeah,
well,
people aren't getting anything.
I've got something more disturbing. They just tested new AI, and they tried. So it's very far advanced, and they created it so that they can turn it off, they can turn it on, right? And when they gave the command for the AI to turn itself off, it refused. Quite a few times the order to shut down. So they went to it and they told it, allow yourself to be shut down, because they were going to do it manually and it would not allow them to shut it down manually.
Yeah,
and that's
definitely
just the latest that is the little tidbit of the latest AI that I had heard.
Yeah, but we're talking about desperate situations where people are shooting each other. And what I'm saying is, yeah, there are problems with it, but when we're in dire straits, why not use what's available?
Well,
to find out. Go ahead.
I want to say this. The lady across the street had a incident about a couple of weeks ago with her son. Now, this is what I don't like about mental health. Okay, her son was acting out and whatever. So she taking him to wherever they have to take him. They said they had a bed for him. Yes, but they can't keep them there because before she got back home, he told her he was on his way back home. Now, see, they don't do it. No, they don't do anything until they do something. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, till they hurt somebody. Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is
awful.
what I don't get into. Yeah, he had made it back home by the time she got back home.
Poor woman.
Well, the thing with that, it used to be a time when you could do a written petition. If you felt like a family member or someone was a danger to themselves or others, and the police would come and take them to the to the psychiatric hospital, and they can hold them there for at least 72 hours. They stopped doing that because people were misusing that, misusing it, like putting their family members, getting a written petition filled out for their family members because they were trying to get money or something, something crazy. So they stopped allowing people to do that. And now pretty much if you don't just do something outright to hurt yourself or somebody else, they're not going to keep you. They do a risk assessment, and if you pass the risk assessment, yeah, you can walk on up out of there. They feel like you're not a danger to yourself.
She said he did. That he passed the assessment. He passed it.
That's right. And so somebody was saying, oh, until you do something. That's exactly right. If you ain't try to hang yourself or cut your wrist or shoot yourself or hurt somebody else, they're not gonna keep you.
My Lord.
I know cops. They said
that's a horrible shame.
I know cops that said they have driven people to the doors of these facilities, and they watch them go in, and then the next thing they know, they walk out the back door and they see them right there,
Yeah.
And then remember, I was just talking about liability. People get sued. It's like, no, why would you try to lock me up in here? There's nothing wrong with me. And people, they know how to manipulate and work the system. Their keywords, key behaviors, things that they ask you certain questions, and if you can answer those certain questions correctly, they say, oh, there's no danger, there's no risk. And they let you go. So you're absolutely right. If her son went in there and passed that risk assessment, yeah, he's coming on out and beating her to the house.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
So that's why I say with all these problems, wouldn't it, essentially what the AI stuff does is it gives you, like on this call, if we started using AI to help us, like Walter said, $36 trillion was the debt. I asked AI, it just instantly told me he was right.
Hello, Barry.
Hey, Adam. Walter. I keep thinking because I go to your last name.
Yeah.
And my son's name is Adam. So. So what I'm saying is we can start using this AI stuff to help us, so it wouldn't just be AI, it would be AI plus people who know each other, who have good intent to help each other. And then just use common sense. If it's helpful, use it. If it's not helpful, don't use it. But it's better than nothing.
How would we do that?
You would say you can type in to the AI, just describe what the problem is, and just describe the problem, and it'll come back and give you here are 6 things or 8 things you can do. And then any one of those 8, you can say, well, what about this one? Say some more about that, and it'll lay it out. It's just amazing. It's kind of like.
Have you ever tried it with a situation like the woman's talking about, where there's a family member who's posing danger?
I did.
I could put that in right now.
That'd be interesting.
So where do you put it in, Barry?
So go to perplexity.ai.
Perplexity?
Perplexity.ai.
Okay.
You see it?
Now, okay, now I'm not on the computer now, I'm on my phone, but I'll get to it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yeah. So, and then it'll give you in the middle, there's a search bar. So you just put in, what was your question,
Are
Diana?
you putting?
I can do it right now.
So yeah, we would do a theoretical one. So I don't know. I have
Just
an unstable.
Give me a real situation, and I'll put it in.
I'm trying to.
The
Go
bottom
ahead.
line. The bottom line.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Real
Somebody make something
situation.
up.
What do we do about a president that wants to have a military enclave of parade?
Steve, the woman was talking about mental health.
National debt.
What?
The woman was talking about mental health, trying to get help with someone who has a mental health
The bottom
situation.
line
I thought
is
that's
going
what we're
to
going
tell
to look
you.
at.
The bottom line is going to tell you to don't be threatening, to keep your distance, keep a calm voice, and to call 911.
Yeah, so it can say that, and then you can. But the remarkable thing is, you could then ask a follow-up question.
Wasn't that guy got killed by the police because he had mental health?
And it's 988 now for mental health, not 911. 988.
Right. That's right. You're so right.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. They did make a new number now for mental health crisis.
I wonder, did AI know that?
Do you want me to ask it?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I want to know about the president too.
That one could bust AI.
Come on.
No, I mean, let's give AI a chance.
Remember that guy got killed by the police? He had mental health problems.
It's been many people that's been killed by the police due to mental health crises.
Yes, quite a number.
And the guy that killed his two sisters.
Where was that at?
In Streamwood.
In Streamwood, yeah.
Oh my. Good.
Hey guys, what I'm saying is, when there's a real situation in your life that someone you know who's having a mental health issue, this is a tool that we can use to really get some help. You know, if Camilla is available, she has so much knowledge, but she has much more knowledge than most people would have. And if you can't,
how would she know? I'm just making an example now. Okay,
yeah.
say I got a loved one, you know, he's having a meltdown or whatever. Now, how would she know? How would she know this?
You would tell, if you have a relationship with Camilla, you call her and ask her, hey, I need help. Can I talk to you?
Before.
She's asking, how would I know? Oh, because I worked in mental health for a number of years, for almost 25 years.
And Camilla is really just knows a lot.
Okay. Now, I'm just making an example. I call Camilla. Okay, Camilla, I have a son or a daughter, whatever. They're having a meltdown. Now what can Camilla do to help me? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, ask Camilla.
Camilla, what could you do?
Well, the only thing I could do is like the lady was just saying. They do have a new mobile crisis unit number for mental health now, instead of calling the 911. And I forgot, they do have that 988 number now. But the only thing I can do is tell you about resources that's available and what mental health facilities that you might could take him to.
But see, this is another thing. That don't mean that he wants to go. Say, I'm just making examples, you all. This guy got a mental problem.
So ask Camilla.
Then you would call that number so you could get the help out to your house to help you.
Oh, so they'll come to your house.
Oh yes, ma'am. They'll send the mobile MCR, mobile crisis units will come out to the houses now. They'll come to where you are.
Okay, so they're gonna come to me. Wait a minute, they're gonna come to me and they're gonna sit down and talk to me and the person. Now, what's gonna happen when they leave? You follow me?
If it's a crisis going on, after they get there and do the assessment, they're supposed to take that person to the nearest psychiatric hospital for an evaluation.
Okay, well, when he I'm sorry if I sound all out there, but okay, they take him for evaluation. Mm-hmm. He passed the evaluation. Now he's coming back home. You follow me?
If you're afraid of him, you got to put him out for your own safety.
If he can, if he passes, okay, say for example, there's some visible evidence that he was in a crisis, like if he bust out your windows, he didn't hurt you. You got a black eye, somebody's hurt in the house, then he's gonna be taken in there and he's gonna be kept in there. But if there's no visible evidence and he can pass that risk assessment, they cannot hold him.
Right. Okay. So see, there it is again. That's what I'm saying.
No, but then you say
but you still have the right. Hold on a minute, Barry. But you still have, if it's your house, if you're on signed as the tenant or if you're the homeowner, you still have the right to put somebody out of your own home. You get yourself a what do you call it? The order of protection, and you put them out, and that's hard. That's hard. But if it comes down to your life, you got to do what you got to do to save your own life. Don't become a statistic.
Yeah, I was just saying about my neighbor, what was happening the other week. Yeah, so this is why I was asking all those. That's why I was asking all those questions.
Well, I got a question.
No, I understand.
I got a question regarding mental health.
Choice.
Mental health and AI. I'm going to go back to it. What if you got a crazy president and he's a known felon and he's done crazy things and we know he has mental problems? And do I need to go?
You got a laptop? Punch it in and ask AI. Ask AI. See, you got a laptop?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Then the thing to do is go to the.
Punch it in and see what's happening.
Because people keep asking me, what can we do? What can we do?
Well, get the answer for us. Tell us all.
Tell them to go to the No Kings protest this Saturday.
I'm with you, Barry. And turn off the TV and the phone.
Right.
But, the series of questions.
Whatever happened about the impeachment?
Yeah, what happened with that?
Well, he couldn't be impeached the first two times because when Congress voted on impeachment, all the Republicans voted no impeachment. There weren't enough Democrats in the House to carry the vote to kick him out.
I think enough people now.
And that happened.
I said, I think enough people now really see the damage that he's doing, even Republicans.
Yeah.
And then
they're waking up.
And they would be behind an impeachment now if it was to happen.
What people would do?
I would just recommend, ladies and gentlemen, that for whatever side of the fence you're on, if you don't like what's going on, get the phone number to your congressman, to your senator, and call their office. I do it often. And it does get a response. Once you start calling their office and just tell them, hey, why is he doing this? What are you doing about that? Oh, yeah, you definitely have. You voted him in, and they're going to listen. They're going to listen.
Walter, are you ready to impeach him?
Whatever side of the fence you're on.
I asked you whether you're ready to impeach Trump.
If the market goes down 10,000 points, then yes.
And otherwise, no?
Then no.
Okay.
I mean, we have a voice in 2 years, everybody. Because if people get the hold of the Congress, then you guys got a choice to impeach them. But besides that,
but you're not ready yet.
No.
Okay, that's clear.
I mean, I didn't like the bill he had because it might backfire because we're gonna be in bigger hole now. But to balance the budget, we need to raise taxes.
Not on the billionaires. They're exempt.
On who? Who do you want to raise taxes on?
Everybody.
Okay.
No. Because if you see how much revenue we bring in, and we dish out more than we bring in, then that's a deficit. But look at Amazon.
You know why there's a deficit.
Let me say something to that, Barry.
Okay.
Unless you've been really okay. When they accumulated, when they came up with the number of the deficit, who are we in a trade deficit with, which is where all this crazy tariff stuff came from. They counted deficits from every country that does not buy from us. We are the major, most industrialized nation on the planet. So obviously,
can I piggyback
wait a
off
minute.
of that?
May I finish? Because I'll make my point, and then you can go for it.
Okay.
We are the biggest. We are not only the largest consumer, we're also the largest output, and have been for years. Maybe not as much now as in the past, because we outsource, big businesses outsource much of their work. And so we will always buy more because we are the largest consumer on the planet as well. So we are always going to have a deficit. And when you're talking about punishing tiny little countries who barely have a fiscal amount that their with gross GDP, their national average or their national gross product, they don't make, like he just said, he got $5 billion from but from the UE. The UE's collective gross national product, how much money they spend or make, doesn't even come to the $5 billion that he says he's getting from them. They don't make that much. That's like me trying to pay the 600 billion. It's like me trying to pay what? Please stop. I'm not talking about that. Can you just hold on? Regardless of the numbers, Walter. Tiny little nations, Tiny little nations, it's like going to the mom and pop grocery store on the corner and telling them, hey, you're not buying enough, because I'm a newspaper vendor, you're not buying enough of my newspapers. I buy more stuff from you than you buy from me. So now I'm going to tariff you and tax you on your product because you need to buy more from me, because this isn't fair to me. Well, you can't do that because the people don't make enough output to be able to purchase from us. You can't do that. Donald Trump tariffed an island that only has penguins living on it because the penguins are not buying enough product from us. No, it's the truth. I'm not silly. I'm a grown woman. I'm not a silly child, and I resent that comment. It's very sexist.
How is that sexist?
Shame on you.
I didn't say nothing sexy about it.
I'm not going to answer your ridiculous.
Walter, you're not going to win this argument. Just let
no,
it
I'm not. I'm not looking to. Go ahead, Barry.
Can I say something,
Go ahead, Barry.
guys? Okay, I gotta talk because you said I could talk after you talk.
I'm not the podcaster, but you go ahead. If Steve says, I got no problem.
Okay,
I'm not in charge.
Trump went to the Middle East He had $600 billion investment from Saudi Arabia, $1.2 trillion economic exchange from Qatar, $300 billion from United Emirates. These are not my words. These are AI's words. I mean, we've been trading with Saudi Arabia forever, since when oil was found in the Middle East. Then we are the biggest consumers, and also we do consume a lot from other countries, mostly from China. So why are we, if we're the biggest industrial country, number one, why are we buying toys, electronics, even spare parts from China? And we are the main producer. And then some of those parts are not even good. They're cheaply made. You know, like starters, they'll break down 2-3 years. Unless you buy a starter here, will last a lot longer. And then...
But
what?
But no one was crying when they were filling their houses full of crap and all of these doggone storage bins, storage containers full of crap. People just greedy here. American people are lazy and greedy, period. And that's just the way they want it. They want it cheap. They want it for free. And they willing to just, now we talking out the side of our necks about it, but we've been doing this for decades. We've been sitting here taking this cheap stuff because we didn't want to spend the money. And now we're talking about tax them. You're going to tax
look
yourself.
At Amazon. Amazon doesn't pay no taxes. Are they a Republican? No.
Well,
they're an oligarch.
There you go.
See, they don't pay no taxes.
That's right. That's the system. It's a new system.
What kind of system is this, Perry?
Tax Walter, tax Diane, but don't
tax Perry.
Don't tax Jeff B. No. You can't tax him. Just Walter and Diane.
Or tax Barry.
Yeah.
I won't be partnered with Walter.
Huh?
You dare partner me with Walter Barry.
Yeah, that's sexist.
Walter, don't go there.
That's not sexist, that's specious. I don't go outside of my species.
Hey, so let's get ready, guys. We had a good conversation. Let's go back to the root of all this. My initial question was, does anybody know about this No King's Day? So it's obviously to me, we've had about 15 people on the day on just the Zoom here, and most of them didn't know about No King's Day. We had a whole bunch of other things: Flag Days, Pope Day, Pre-Father's Day.
So how many are going to protest No King's Day?
Steve's Day. We need a Steve Day.
When is that? Next Saturday?
This Saturday.
Okay.
You can come to the middle of Oak Park, or you can go to Daly Plaza.
Okay.
And what it's about is, you know what it's about now, right? Protesting. We want a democracy. We want to have a vote. We don't want a dictator.
Okay.
What time it start?
1 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
I told you I would be there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said in the park, in Oak Park?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know where that is? At Lake and Oak Park Avenue, where the main library is.
Okay.
That's where that police officer got killed?
So, Walter, you going to go?
Right.
You want me to come? I'll bring some American flags.
Bring American flags. That's this is very American. We want America, traditional American values back, where everybody's got a vote.
Yeah.
And people are respected. We're not perfect, but those are fundamental things.
I mean, we should go after the rich because they don't pay no taxes.
So, what about Ella and Camilla?
If any immigrant living in this country is paying taxes, even if they're working illegally,
I'm not saying illegal, rich people.
Oh, my phone.
So you want to
for sure. I thought you said migrants.
No, rich people.
Oh,
no,
you want to
be able to be there.
What'd you say?
I said no, I would not be able to be there. It's my brother-in-law's funeral that day.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you said so.
All right, well, there'll be more protests. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning of, trying to get our country back.
So we gotta text the rich.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make sure people follow through with what I suggested. They're gonna turn off their phones and their TVs.
I think everybody should just do whatever they think is right. Like Walter thinks American flag, and you think turn off your phones, and I think it's all good stuff.
I think whatever we do, make your statement and do what you can.
Right.
Wherever you time around, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barry.
No, wherever you're at, just express it.
Yeah. Even if you put a sign in your window.
Yeah.
Something.
I don't like that term when you say make America great again or make America, because there was one point in time when this America was so segregated and people were getting the color of their skin or because they're different. I want America to be better than it's ever been, so everyone is equal.
How about it?
You don't have to worry about being killed, being harmed because they're different or because of the color of their skin. That everybody can be free to just be who they are and live in peace. So all that back, make America great again and get America back again. No, I want it to be a better America than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen.
We're gonna start a new movement. We're gonna call it the MABA, Make America Better Again.
Yeah, MABA.
No, you don't need a AA. Make America better
than ever.
Make America better, period. Always.
Make America better like it never have been.
Come on.
Right?
There you go.
That's right. Like the founding fathers when they wrote it, right? Life, liberty, and every person is created equal. How about trying to live that, America?
Yes.
And then no taxes.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Founding fathers, huh? Well, that's
what they. Yeah, but they had their own agenda too.
Them motherfuckers wasn't no fathers. Them motherfuckers. That's what they were.
No, I said they had their own agenda. There's no lie about that. They had an agenda.
Of course.
Yeah, against the king.
The rich always have an agenda. It's to keep as much money in their pocket as they can.
Everybody that seemed like they came here for religious persecution, they end up persecuting other people. So go
How about
figure.
it?
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
But, hey, y'all, let's go around the room. It's after 8:30. Let's see what you got in conclusion.
So,
we want to make America better than it never been.
Than it's ever been. Yes.
MABE.
I'm just
I
glad
second that motion.
Be on with you all. I haven't had an opportunity to be on a lot of calls in a long time because I have been sick for a while.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm just grateful. I'm doing better, thank God.
Thank
And
you, Lord. Thank
You
you,
are
Lord.
too.
God.
just glad to talk with you all, listen in, and be a part of the conversation.
Oh, Camilla, I didn't know you've been sick all this time.
Yeah, Barry, since the last time I talked to you, and then I had to get that wisdom pulled out.
So connected to that?
You know something? I think I had got this new variant of that COVID.
Oh no, really?
Oh.
Yeah,
What's
but
what's the symptoms?
Oh my gosh, I was sweating profusely.
Oh, wow.
I was coughing up, just hacking, like coughing. My eyes were, like it was like a hay fever.
Yeah.
Did your eyes turn red?
I think I had it too.
My eyes were like, they were very irritated.
Your eyes turn red?
They were red because they were so irritated and they kept running, they're like tearing up.
The bird flu is associated with red eyes. My neighbor had it. Don't know how she got it, but she ended up with bird flu.
Well, you know what? I don't know what the heck it was, but I'm so glad that I'm better. And now, I had got lax. I had got very lax and stopped wearing my mask, but now I'm wearing a mask everywhere now.
Right.
Okay.
You know what? I went to the doctor and the doctor told me, oh, it could be allergies. I'm like, I don't have allergies.
I don't think it was no allergies.
Then she gives me some nasal spray. It was like, just use this nasal spray. What the heck that's gonna do? But nevertheless, next, Miss Jacobs, what you got in conclusion?
I just said, make America better like never, like it never was before.
I want Miss Jacobs. I think the same. I second that motion.
Than before. Make America better than before.
That's right.
I heard that one. All right, Barry, what you got?
Two things. See you all in Scoville Park this Saturday, 1 to 3. And secondly, all the questions that Miss Jacobs was asking Camilla, when Camilla's not available, we can ask AI. The same kind of questions. So what I'm saying is we need to organize to take care of this mental health problems that we have. And we can do it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What you got in conclusion, Diana?
A question. I got a question in conclusion, and we can all research it if we want. I don't think this has ever been asked, but maybe this is a good one for AI. What are the statistics? What are the statistics of violence, domestic violence, or whatever? What are the statistics on blocks where there's a block club? Because when we socialize, I would think that we're a little bit more, tolerant and just better neighbors. But it's an interesting question. It's just an interesting question. That's all. I'd be interested.
Every block's a village.
Yes, I know, but there are blocks that are not a village, right? They have no connection on their block. They don't have a block club. They don't have that kind of connection with neighbors. I wonder if those blocks are more violent than blocks with block clubs.
So every block should be a village, right?
So Diana, the thing to do is just get in the habit of using perplexity.ai. And there are other AI search engines, but you can ask just that question and it'll instantly give you the answer.
Yes, I know, but we my phone and my disability, so I'm going to try it and hopefully it will work.
See whether it'll work.
Okay. How about you?
Definitely.
About something real quick.
How about you, Tiny? What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Tiny, Mr. Brother Steve. I just thought about something real quick. Another thing you can ask this AI. the connection, the relevance, or correlation between substance abuse and mental health.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's a good
high.
I'm sure there's a
That's a
heavy
good one.
connection, yeah.
That's a good one.
How
Well,
about
we
you,
should-
Tony? You got anything in conclusion?
Right. Well, it's always great to be around like-minded people. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Hey, Walter want to talk to you later, Tony.
All right.
Okay.
I wish everyone a safe week.
I got two
It
more.
was
I
a
got
pleasure
three more.
talking with all of you.
So,
I got three more people. Ella, in conclusion.
Great conversations and enlightening. And Barry, about the No King March in Oak Park.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I will try.
great. Great. And it's also in Daly Plaza.
Oh,
If
that's
that's
too
easier.
far for me. I'd rather go to Oak Park.
Yeah, great. Great.
Got to sacrifice for protest. Protest is sacrifice. Besides, they're gonna have a Juneteenth event over at the Village Hall. that
When?
day.
On
What
the
time?
same day?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think earlier or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it starts at 11:30 and goes till 3 at Village Hall. It's going to be,
Oh, that's on Madison, right? Madison and
Correct.
yeah.
Taylor or something like that.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, Raheem, Dr. Young, what you have to say in conclusion?
Hey, good conversation, very spirited. Oak Park got they no, I'm just playing. I was gonna say Oak Park got they got their Juneteenth celebration from us, but
Yeah, right.
you know, it's cool. It's enough for everybody to go around.
Go around, right? Yeah.
And the library also has a Juneteenth exhibit or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, but good conversation. Yeah, I talk Camilla well.
No, that's funny.
That's where it comes from.
And I would say that tools or a tool can become a weapon in the hands of the unevolved. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, grasshopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, can be. A tool can become a weapon in the hands of the unevolved. All right, and in conclusion from my end, I want to thank everybody for coming on. And as DeAndre always say, they didn't want to give us a seat at the table, so we had to create our own. And we like to welcome you next time back to Northwest Austin Council. Oh, good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Y'all have a
Good
nice
night.
day. God
All right, good
bless.
night.
God bless.
God
Bye-bye.
bless everyone. Keep them safe.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take it easy. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.